cryptocurrency.
A couple Bitcoins.
Money, though.
Pull up on my Nakamoto.
Hello. Welcome to the Blockchain Dynamics show.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Definitely a great New Year's Day here. It's January 1st, 2017. It's a Sunday.
Yep.
And we're doing episode number 44.
That's right. I'm Woody.
My name is Brandon Doge.
And this show is brought to you today by Cryptopia. That's cryptopia.co.nz. It's a really nice altcoin exchange and platform with a bunch of different features, pools and marketplace. You should just go check it out.
Yeah, don't forget to check out. They've also got this thing called Mineshaft, where a lot of the proof-of-work mineable coins that they have on the exchange, you can mine essentially through like a single port, and then you can just get the coins directly into your Cryptopia account. So that is also really cool.
Yeah, and we have a thread over in their forum under the altcoin section, and we love getting feedback from listeners. So if you head over there and give us a little feedback, we can reward you with some dots.
Yeah, just stop by the thread, give us some feedback, really post anything, and we will send you 2,500 of those sweet, sweet dots.
We also have another little sponsorship or giveaway this week that we'll get to somewhere in the middle. We're going to give away 500 Mineum to someone.
Yep, keep listening, and you could be the winner of 500 Mineum.
All right. So we wanted to mention the Wolong Awards. As you may or may not know, we've been collecting nominations for the past 4 weeks, and now the nominations have come to a close. That was it.
Yep, it's done.
So now we have to shift into the voting stage, which should be pretty fun. So it's not quite up there yet, but in the next day or two on our website, there will be a new form for voting. And you'll see if you nominated something, hopefully it's on there. Not everything that got nominated showed up because some things didn't fit into categories that they were nominated for. And I also ended up removing a couple categories that the winner was just too obvious, or we didn't get enough nominations to make it meaningful. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're going to do that on our 50th episode. We'll reveal the results, and it's going to be sweet.
And that is blockchaindynamics.net, where you can check that out. Also, the best new coin of the year will get listed on Cryptopia for free.
Yeah, if it's not already listed, at least. Alrighty, so we're going to jump right into the rest of the show. We're going to start off this week with a second look at a coin called Monero.
Yeah. Monero, obviously, I wish I had paid closer attention to it before I did.
Yeah, obviously.
Has had a really good year. And when it came out, it was a pretty serious project, but nowhere near what it is now, I guess, somehow.
It came out in April 2014 as a kind of descendant of BitCoin, which was, I think, the first crypto note coin. And it kind of, Monero came out when at like the peak of the era of the script clones. So if you were just like kind of a small time miner like we are, it would be like, it was kind of easy to ignore Monero because you could just go look at one of the other 50 million, script launches that you could end up making a huge profit on anyway.
Yeah.
And so it was easy to ignore Monero. And it was at that time kind of in altcoins, it was really easy to ignore long-term plays altogether. You could pretty much just kind of bank on, hitting launches or hitting new pumps and flipping in a week or so and then moving on to the next one.
Sure.
So I had a different strategy back then. I guess I didn't really dive as deeply into the actual kind of core development of coins or the long-term focus nearly as much, at least as I do now.
Right. And this one definitely is a serious contender in the sense that I think, whereas Litecoin called itself the silver to Bitcoin's gold or whatever,
Yep.
Remember that? I feel like this is more wanting to be a direct competitor for transactions on the internet.
Yeah, I do like that they're kind of going head-to-head with Bitcoin in that sense, like you said, and trying to actually be like a major transaction network, not just potentially just a store of value or whatever, like a lot of cryptos try to stick with.
Yeah. And so what do they claim to do better than Bitcoin? Well, they're extremely privacy-focused. claiming to have anonymous transactions, which is probably true. They've got the crypto note technology that helps enable that, along with some other things using ring signatures and other technical stuff I have no idea about. But point being, they have it all very well laid out for people that are extremely interested in the coding aspects of technology to look at.
Yeah, they have, just in their thread or on their website, they have really direct comparisons of their kind of methods of creating privacy and anonymity. And they'll go, they compare it to Zcash, they'll compare it to Dash, and they'll compare it to, I don't know if they have a comparison against Zcoin, but...
No, I didn't see one of those, but I did see the Zcash one and a few others.
But essentially, kind of the core of the privacy technology is the crypto note kind of has a built-in mixing system where the amount of your transaction is broken up into units, and then they're kind of bundled together with everybody else. And the ring signature is just a way of having it being you can tell that somebody has signed the transaction, but you can't really tell who. And so that just kind of enhances that. So it's attacking the anonymity angle from a few different ways, which is cool. And they also have focused on integrating into some of these deep web markets as well.
Yeah.
And of course, also they were an early Poloniex coin, and it's pretty clear that they've benefited from that. I think that XMR base pair is like, they've had that on Poloniex for years. I think that was probably a good sign that something was going to happen with XMR.
For sure. And it certainly did. Like I mentioned, it would have been a great one to buy at the beginning of last year.
Yeah, definitely. I just recently got my first Monero, so I decided, I've been on the sidelines the whole time. I figured I'd grab a few.
Right.
Even, it's always tough. We complain about this. It's hard for us to buy coins that are already pumped so obviously.
Right, with the price has gone up.
Yep. But just kind of the timing of this recent Monero spike kind of shows that it could potentially be one of the coins to lead the charge, I guess, going into 2017. The markets this year really reacted hugely to the Ethereum pump, and they, kind of tanked in tandem with Ethereum as well over the past couple months.
Right.
And so I think everyone's looking to see which coin is going to lead the next, lead the charge on the next altcoin pump cycle.
Yeah, and who knows? Could be that one.
So yeah, Monero's cool. They just recently released a GUI wallet.
Oh, yeah.
So it was pretty surprising. That's probably one of the main reasons that I didn't get into it earlier, is that I didn't even have really the ability to run command line wallets until fairly recently.
Right. Yeah, we downloaded the GUI beta and checked it out, and it looked nice.
It's got like a privacy slider. You can be like,
yeah, we were a little bit
private?
confused by that because you could set it at like some arbitrary level, like let's say 65% secure privacy. What if we don't understand the implications of that?
Yeah, it's a little vague in the wallet, but I think it just ties to the amount of mixing that it does.
And it is a beta, so maybe it'll be more explicit.
But yeah, overall it was a pretty slick little wallet, and obviously this is a coin that has come a really long way. It's kind of surpassed everyone in its own market space. It wasn't the first crypto note coin, but now it's by far the biggest. And the community involvement in Monero has obviously been huge.
Right.
And is, to this day, I think is a huge factor in its success.
For sure.
So, it's a really interesting coin. I really enjoyed looking at it this week.
One other note was I was interested that they are being used at several of those sort of dark web market type websites that used to just sort of transact in Bitcoin. So I'm sure that even if it's a small amount, generates some more interest or something.
Well, it appeals to their their interest in competing with Bitcoin in terms of being a transactional system, not like a lot of the other coins want to be tied to an asset or get value out of decentralized apps and stuff, whereas Monero is kind of going against them in that core functionality of just being a transactional network.
Okay.
All right, that does it for Monero, a really interesting coin. Next, we're going to jump into the news.
Yeah, and of course, we pretty much have to start it off with Bitcoin starting the year at $1,000.
Yep, Bitcoin is $1,000.50 as of this program, so that's pretty damn sweet.
Nice. Did not feel like that was necessarily going to happen going into 2016.
Yeah, I think it was really cool. The timing on it's pretty interesting, just to hit it right on the new year. And It doesn't really feel like, it feels like we're probably not even done yet. Obviously, I wouldn't be surprised to see some retracements, but this doesn't really feel like the top yet either, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, that's obviously the biggest news, and we will talk about the markets in a couple of minutes here. But we also wanted to mention this article, kind of interesting, relating to the Coinbase IRS tax summons.
Right.
As we know, Coinbase lost a hearing request to retain their customer information, and so the IRS basically will get all of their customer records, except for one, because this one lawyer sued the IRS to kind of complain about his records being released.
Yeah.
And so what they did is they just released an amendment to their request to include every person on Coinbase except him.
That's hilarious.
So, I mean, that's just like, it's a little frustrating, obviously, to know that it feels like they're trying to take away his standing or something so that it's harder for him to
right.
Kind of try and throw a wrench in the gears.
Right.
Here.
They're like, you don't have a dog in this fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And so it's just funny. It's frustrating, but it does show that potentially there might be some holes in this IRS request still, and it might end up getting reversed.
Right.
I guess still.
I would say even if he's not directly implicated anymore, if he was able to get other people onto a class action or something, then maybe it could be reversed.
Well, it seems like it's going to open up the floodgates for, anybody who wants to get their name off the list now will be able to.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's for starters.
They could threaten to file the same case potentially, and it would just kind of put them in an uncomfortable spot. So that'll be just an interesting thing to see how that plays out going forward.
Nice. It's interesting for sure.
Alrighty, next up, we're going to jump into the market news this week. Obviously, a really exciting week on the markets. There really wasn't too much in actual coin news with a lot of countries having holidays and stuff this week.
Yeah, it felt a little bit slow for news.
But still a huge week for the markets with Bitcoin crossing 1,000. Obviously, everyone's going nuts. Everyone's really excited.
Yeah, definitely.
And why wouldn't you be?
Twitter's just blowing up.
I mean, this is it, man. It was never, when we came in, it was like at 850, 900, So it's already been trading for us, higher than it ever has before, and for kind of a longer stretch, too.
Yep. Feels good.
It does feel good. But we're still waiting for that, we're still waiting for some good new coins to come of this.
You're right. Because we like altcoins.
Also funny to watch, as always, BTCE is lagging behind and was only at $960 when I last looked.
Right. It's always lower for some reason.
I feel like that's a smaller gap than it has been in the past. The absolute number of $40 is a pretty big gap, but like as a percentage of the total, that's only, a 4% difference?
Yeah. And it always does seem to be somewhere around there.
Yep. So yeah, always fun to watch. People have some theories on you can use the gap between BTCE and the other exchanges as an indicator of potentially kind of where in the pump cycle we are. And I think, those kind of theories are funny, and I think it is cool to try and look at the gaps between the different exchanges as an indicator. I always like to see like the differences between Phoenix and Huobi, like right now the Chinese yuan value is at $1,032. All the U.S. exchanges are floating around $1,000, and then BTC back there at $960.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you that 3 sets of data points that you can compare the differences of and look for correlations and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So that's always a lot of fun. As far as altcoins this week, ETH is up.
ETH is up.
It's up 12.
Leading the charge.
So that's cool. ETH even managed to gain ground versus Bitcoin this week, which has been unusual. As far as altcoins, the overall altcoin markets, we looked at the top 97 altcoins, and they are down relative to Bitcoin looks like about 8% overall, but they are actually up in USD market cap a huge amount of about 11% overall. And that's based on the strength of the Ethereum and the Monero markets. The alts actually gained about 194 million in value this week.
Wow. Not bad.
Yep. And even if you don't include Ethereum, they were still up about 10% overall, so still huge gains. What's interesting is there's actually more alts down than up versus Bitcoin, so kind of the average altcoin went down this week, but the coins that went up so much that it caused the overall kind of overall value of alts compared to Bitcoin to remain pretty flat.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, it seems like we always are curious if there's going to be a clear correlation between Bitcoin and the altcoins, and it's always something different. But this week at least, it seems like they're mostly just remaining flat, like you said, while Bitcoin goes up and their market caps are getting dragged that way.
And that, I think that marks a pretty big reversal of the trend that we were seeing leading up into this latest kind of leg upwards. We've mentioned before, but prior to this, a month ago or 2 months ago, we would see Bitcoin spike $20, $30, and we would see alts just absolutely tank. They ended up losing, in a couple of months, altcoins lost about 40% of their value against Bitcoin and about 20% of their value against US dollar.
Right.
So there was just a huge collapse. We've started to see that shift in the past couple weeks with last week we saw that altcoins gained in US dollar market cap despite sliding a little bit in Bitcoin. And then this week we're seeing alts mostly flat against Bitcoin and shooting upward in US dollar value. So we're starting to potentially see the other side of this where kind of the initial panic from Bitcoin going up, the initial kind of sell-off, I guess, has subsided a little bit. And Bitcoin is now kind of carrying a lot of altcoins up with it, which in 2016 we saw that kind of being the precursor to some of the huge altcoin pumps that happened in kind of summer, fall of 2016.
Sure.
So it's going to be really exciting. As far as looking at the long-term numbers, I mentioned that alts had slid about 20% relative to Bitcoin over a 2-month period. This week they gained about half of that back. They're now only down about 10% over the last 10 weeks.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it took 9 weeks to lose 20% of their value relative to USD. Now in 1 week they gain half of that back. And that just shows how kind of volatile and fun the alt markets can be.
For sure.
So, yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on the altcoin markets and the Bitcoin markets and just kind of see what the overall picture looks like.
Yeah. I like to be optimistic, so that's how I'm feeling right now. But I'm more curious, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I'm still mostly in Bitcoin, but I am starting to shift into alts a little bit for the past couple of weeks. And I've been having a lot of fun with it.
Nice, yeah. I've been buying a few altcoins here and there. Like you mentioned, you bought a few Monero.
Yep.
I bought a few of those too. I might have bought the most expensive Monero anyone bought in the last week.
You bought right at the top. That's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, well, no big deal, really.
Yep.
I was planning on holding them for a while.
So as far as the individual gainers and losers this week, we had a chuckle because TittieCoin is up 52% this week. That's just an old script coin.
Yep.
GridCoin is up 44%. XMR is up 29%. And NovaCoin up 28%.
Pretty good.
This is a funny list of gainers. There's like a joke coin with TittieCoin, a serious research coin with GridCoin, a mega top dollar market cap coin with Monero, and then a really old coin with NovaCoin, kind of a classic Bitcoin clone.
Yeah, that is a nice little spread, isn't it?
So really cool to see. It seems like every corner of the market is starting to benefit now from the high Bitcoin prices.
On the loser side, we were looking at One Credit down 43%, SwingCoin down 42%, HunterCoin down 32%, and TitCoin down 27%.
That one's kind of funny. TittieCoin is one of the biggest gainers this week at plus 52%, and TitCoin is down 27%, one of the biggest losers.
Yeah, gotta love it. Gotta love altcoins.
That's altcoins for you. One Credit, of course, Polo delisting coin still taking a beating. SwingCoin is just coming off of a pump.
Doing its thing.
And I don't know what HunterCoin is up to.
HunterCoin's that game-based one. I know that.
Yep, it's one of the first coins where you could one of the first chains where you could generate blocks by playing a game, essentially.
Yeah, I imagine that sometimes people win in the game and then they sell their HunterCoins. That's got to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. That's about it for market news this week.
Yeah, really a fun week for the markets, and I expect the markets to continue to be interesting going forward with this new Bitcoin highs.
Up next is our random coin spotlight.
Yeah, what better way to look at a coin without any bias than to just roll the dice and see what you come up with?
We always find something interesting. In the 1 to 100 random category, today we're looking at Antshares.
Antshares we rolled. This is a coin that I really didn't know hardly anything about prior to.
Right, we just had to do
looking it up.
research. But what it seems like is that it's a Chinese smart contract platform.
Yep.
They trying to compete with Ethereum and all the others. They had a pretty large ICO. They raised 6,119 Bitcoins.
Right, and that was the second round. They had an initial round in 2015 that raised 2,100 Bitcoins. So all in all, it's a huge, huge ICO. We're always skeptical of some of these ICO numbers, but no matter how you spin it, that still, kind of puts it in the ranks of the biggest projects out there.
It sure does.
As far as what's its actual ranking on the market caps these days?
31 at the moment.
31.
Yeah.
It's a $7.2 million market cap. It's mainly traded on Wanbao.
Right. You're going to find 99% of the volume over there. But it's also on Bittrex. And then it's on a couple other Chinese exchanges, it looks like.
So what are they working on over there at Antshares?
The main thing that they had listed was this VM, Antshares VM.
Okay.
Which was a little bit confusing for me because normally that means a virtual machine to me.
Right, that's what I thought of too.
Clearly wasn't exactly what they were talking about. So what it has to do is some sort of way of making the processing power on their network more readily available to people. They're trying to make it usable because I doubt anyone's really doing much with it yet.
So they're kind of playing on the Hive computing angle that Golem is?
It might be.
Interesting.
I don't know. I checked out the 2017 preview that they had posted, and they just sort of seem like they're trudging forward.
Yeah, it really just seems like kind of a standard list of futures here. On that 2017 roadmap, they're talking about integrating Visual Studio and being able to write smart contracts in C#. They're talking about web wallet updates. They're talking about cross-chain stuff, kind of a lot of things that we've heard before. And that's the sort of thing that just makes me skeptical about coins like this, is it, it just seems to me like it's a lot of show and not really anything interesting that I can actually do with the chain right now.
Yeah. Well, I feel you there. I mean, there's just so many smart contract platforms out right now. It's such a competitive market somehow all of a sudden that even the people I think that have there are some cool pieces of software, people we've talked to that are coming out with things, but generally right now it's like they're all competing to make these platforms, but I don't see the competition in the development of the contracts or the software that runs on them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's more smart contract platforms out there right now than there are smart contract products.
Right, right.
There's a million different kind of frameworks for these smart contracts, but nobody has built the killer app yet that is actually driving any use to any one platform or the other.
And the DAO that was so high profile was
tanked.
Kind of a failure.
Kind of a failure is an
It really was a
understatement.
failure, I guess.
It was a total failure, essentially.
People were probably lucky they got their money back.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's no question that has had a huge effect on the landscape for these smart contract platforms. I think it has driven a lot of attention to the newer platforms that, are aiming to have more standard coding frameworks than the Solidity framework that
it seems like that would really help.
It does seem like it, but again, a lot of these platforms now have been out for a while. Lisk has been out for a while.
Yeah.
Stratus, I think, has been out for a while. I'm not sure to what extent their implementation is complete, but
right.
I'm ready for the products.
Yeah, I'd be happy to see a few of them as well. But a nice random coin there, Antshares.
Antshares.
Our second random coin of the week is DigitalCoin.
DigitalCoin, another fun one to see. This is another older coin launched in May of 2013.
Yeah, so definitely older.
This is a script. This isn't actually a multi-algo coin. They must have switched. I think they started as script, but they must have switched to multi-algo in 2015 when a lot of coins were going that direction.
Yeah. It is cool that they have the 3 different algorithms, I think.
Yep.
But it looks like it got its main pump back in 2014.
Yeah, it pumped at launch. It pumped a little bit in early 2016 again, but it's been on a long slide as far as that goes. Kind of it's a classic altcoin in the sense that it's not trying to sell itself on anything that Bitcoin can't do. It's just trying to do what Bitcoin does better.
Right.
It's got I think 40-second blocks. This one was kind of hard. When I was first getting into the coin game, it was hard for me to keep this coin straight from some of the other coins with similar names.
Yeah.
Because I remember there's DigitalCoin, there's DigiByte. I think there was a coin called DigiCoin. And so it kind of got lost in the shuffle for me. I never really tried to mine or trade this coin.
And interestingly, sort of similar to our last random coin, this one is predominantly traded on the BTC38 Chinese exchange.
Right, I thought that was interesting too. It's always cool to see what percentage of coins, when we do our random coins, it's cool to see what percentage wind up being mainly traded on the Chinese exchanges, and it's a pretty large percent.
Yeah.
As far as DigitalCoin, development-wise, I don't think there's anything.
No real indicators of anything going on.
No, they're just kind of doing the same old thing. They're still mining. Still got a 5 coin block reward.
Yep.
And kind of just doing its thing.
All right.
Next up, we are going to jump into the new coins.
Those new coins.
All eyes are on new coins with some signs that the altcoin markets are turning around. That's always a great time for developers to launch new coins.
Seems like it.
But as we'll see, we got a pretty typical list this week.
Yeah. Up first on our proof of work, proof of stake list is Wozniak.
Wozniak, named inexplicably after the Apple co-founder guy.
Well, I mean, we did have Jobs Coin during last year, so
right, yeah.
Maybe now this is just the counterpoint.
Now it's Wozniak's turn.
Yeah.
That's funny. Paul Allen coin. All right, so as far as the specs on this one are funny, it has a really nice looking block reward scheme. It's like kind of what you'd expect on a good proof of work coin. But then there was the small problem of the hidden pre-mine of 350 million coins.
Wow.
Which, when there's only 500 coins proof of work, so that's 700 times larger pre-mine than the entire chain.
So not a great one for much.
Yep, one of the things to look for on these pre-mine shit coins is they're trying to find all these ways to game the statistics to say, oh, this is only a 5% pre-mine, this is only a 1% pre-mine, blah, blah, blah. But kind of the dead giveaway on all of them is they're always having a pre-mine between 80 to 500 million coins, which basically just means that tells you right up front that all they want to do with this coin is get it on Yobit and try and dump it for 1 Satoshi. Because, 350 million coins at 1 Satoshi, that's 3.5 Bitcoins. That's not bad. I don't think they usually get that much, but that just seems to be the strategy is to dump them as fast as they can.
So we'll see if that one makes it to the listing stage at some point.
Let's see. On that note, the next coin launched this week was ChyphCoin. And the same story. This one has a 250 million pre-mine. So once again, it's just that range where you can just tell immediately that they're just trying to screw you.
Right. Unfortunately, I think you're right on that.
Next on the list here is a coin called CreativeCoin. And this one is actually a little more likable.
Yeah, this one was sort of likable. It really distributed quickly. So some people must have massive amounts of this at this point.
So what I like about this coin is that it has a 35,000 block proof of work. I think that's a nice kind of medium short length. But the proof of stake scheme is really front loaded. It has a DPoS system for the first 10,000 blocks where you get 50 coins per block. And then from block 10,000 to block 25,000, it switches to a normal POS system where you get 1% per day. And then after block 25,000, it goes to just 9% per year for the long-term staking rate.
Yeah.
And it has a relatively low pre-mine of 3%, which is still, it's about 1,000 blocks. It's bad, but it's not, it's not 98 million coins. It's not just going to dump the market to 1 Satoshi immediately. But the kind of the warning sign on this one is when you combine the pre-mine with the staking parameters, you create a situation where you're kind of just, you're trusting the developer not to stake the pre-mine, because if they do, they're going to have just a huge advantage in the staking, and that's always frustrating to compete against.
Yeah, and I'm noticing that it's on that Mega Krypton exchange too, which I gotta say, I gave it a shot this week, and it does not seem like it's ready for show.
Yeah, do not use the Mega Krypton exchange. It's like it didn't complete the trade. He tried to place a trade that should have matched, and they were just both sitting on the order books uncompleted.
And then I placed a sell that was lower than the highest bid, and they both were just sitting there still. Like the matching engine was just not operational.
That reminds me of Crypto Rush. Do you remember Crypto Rush?
Yeah, of course.
That really funny, just like black and white layout, really simple exchange. They always had all kinds of like floating point math problems and stuff where your orders wouldn't match correctly.
Yeah.
And they also didn't have best price matching. So if somebody had a bid up for like 10 Satoshi and a bid up for 5 Satoshi, if you put a sell in at 5 Satoshi, it would hit the bid at 5 Satoshi and ignore the one at 10.
Right. I remember getting some coins that way occasionally.
Yeah, and so you could get ahead on Cryptopia by placing 1 sat buys on markets right after they got added and just being the first one there, because eventually somebody will like try and do a market sell or something and fat finger it, and you would just catch all these free coins, basically. So that's what that reminded me of, and their exchange isn't working right, so do not use Mega Krypton.
Yeah, or at least I can't recommend it. Just be super careful if you do. I haven't tried to withdraw the little bit of Crumb coin that I sent there to test the sell with, but the deposit worked fine.
Yeah, the deposits always seem to work just fine. Alrighty, so I guess we're actually talking about Creative Coin here still.
Yeah, which doesn't look terrible, but like we said, you would have wanted to get in on it really quickly.
Yeah, the difficulty is so low that you could make money on this. Like, the mining cost is basically nothing. So if it does get listed, you probably are going to make money, but it's going to be not very much. Very low overall totals.
Yep. Unless it goes for a long... Maybe it'll turn into something else, right?
Yep.
Never know.
That was Creative Coin. Next, we're going to talk about GoldenBird Coin.
Yeah, this one was odd because it was created sort of as a pre-in, and then the guy immediately locked the announcement when he created it, and then eventually it changed to being launched, and he continued to leave it locked. So that's pretty odd behavior.
What is funny about this coin is that he's got a website at goldenbirdcoin.com. He has a mining pool up at goldenbirdcoin.net.
Right.
And he has a block explorer up at goldenbirdcoin.org.
Huh.
So he bought all of the top-level domains, basically, for GoldenBird Coin. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's a good sign, but just opening the thread and locking it right away really sketches me out.
Right. And it looks like it's not mining well at all. For whatever reason, maybe because of the lack of information, nobody's mining it.
Either no one's mining it or the chain is stuck. It's hard to tell, but the chain definitely hasn't moved in a little while. And
on his official pool, there's no workers listed.
Yeah, there's a lot of red flags for virus on this one, honestly. What's weird is, it would be weird for a virus coin to have bought all of those domain names.
Yeah, maybe it's just worth it for him.
But it's also just not looking very good right now.
So we'll see if anything comes of that.
That was GoldenBird Coin.
Up next is Crypto Gold.
Crypto Gold. Never heard of this idea before.
Right, a crypto token that's tied to gold assets.
Unfortunately, it's also tied to a 95% pre-mine, so ouch. This is another one that's like one of those 100 million pre-mines that just tells you right away what they're trying to do with it.
Right.
And that's Crypto Gold.
Next is Yash.
Yash coin. It's hard to say.
Yeah, this one is trying to advertise another new exchange.
Yeah, so as Dots is to Cryptopia, Yash coin is supposed to be to this DCEX exchange. But is the exchange even working right now?
I don't know. They have a website, but that's as far as I've gotten with this one.
Well, the usual rules apply here.
They hardly trade anything. They're trading Yash, Litecoin, Dash, and Pip. Whatever that is. That's like... So, who knows?
This exchange doesn't look too bad, but the rule with new exchanges, as always, applies. Like, with Bitcoin going over $1,000, the amount of people trying to rip you off it's gonna get crazy here in the near future, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, I suppose.
And, we're going to see every flavor of old scam under the moon and some new ones. And that just means that you have to be careful, right? I don't know, I don't have anything specifically bad to say about this DCEX exchange. But as always with newer exchanges, if you want to trade there, always start with a test transaction.
Right.
Be sure to complete the whole process from deposit to withdrawal. And, don't keep a large amount of money on the exchange. And that's just really about all there is to it. You can still trade on new questionable exchanges, as long as you're careful and as long as you're comfortable with the possibility of, losing a little bit.
Right. Well, I think that possibility exists with any exchange.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and that doesn't mean that old exchanges are safe by any means. You always have to, anytime you're giving somebody else control of your private key, then you have to accept the possibility that you could lose everything because you don't really own it at that point,
Right.
So, yeah. Let's see, that's Yash coin. And the last proof of work coin to be announced this week was 2017 coin.
2017 coin. All right.
Ringing in the new year with a shit coin.
Yeah.
This one's also, I would say it's a little bit interesting. It's a ultra low supply. Only going to have 2017 coins total, supposedly. So that's cool.
Right.
It uses a static reward for both the proof of work and proof of stake. A really low reward of only 0.038 per block, obviously. And then it's supposed to mine for 1 year. So it has 10-minute blocks, and the amount of blocks essentially should run out roughly over 1 year.
That's kind of fun.
It's an X13 coin, and it's the developer here, Fistbump, launched another coin recently called FistCoin.
Yeah, called Fist Bump Coin or something.
Fistbump Coin,
yeah.
which is already a 1 Satoshi coin, and he's also been linked to a ton of other kind of serial shit coins.
Right.
So, again, you look at this one, it kind of reminds me of Creative Coin in that it's got a lower pre-mine and a reasonable length proof of work phase. But when you combine the pre-mine with the proof of stake, it just kind of makes it pretty obvious that it's probably just a Yobit dump coin thing.
Right.
Supernova called out the guy right away for being associated with that Yobit pumper, TittieCoin.
Oh.
Which is funny. And, so these coins, that means there's probably going to be some fake volume on Yobit, and you might be able to game it a little bit. But the amount of money that overall is going to be, the amount of money that you could make at the most is going to be very small. So it's like, it's really tough to justify your time in playing with some of these coins.
For sure.
And that does it for the proof of work coins this week. That was 2017 coin.
Okay, and that's going to take us to an airdrop coin.
Yeah, we had an airdrop this week for something called Extreme Chain.
Extreme Chain.
Really extreme. Really extreme.
He's distributing it based on Bitcoin Talk rank.
Yeah, this guy's doing a chain. The point of the chain is supposedly to test the futures of this ICO coin called Moonstone that the guy is making. But this chain otherwise is totally separate. And it's going to be distributed 90% through an airdrop. It looks like about 190 people have signed up already. It looks cool. I mean, people are saying that they've been able to get the coins. They're saying that they've been able to use the client. It looks like it's a web-based client.
Yeah, it looked like it was to me, too.
I always wonder if there's even a blockchain underneath that or if it's just like a database or something, I always worry about that. But.
Yeah, well, I guess the source code's there.
Yeah, that's true. The source is out there, and honestly, I like this. It's cool for somebody who's doing an IPO to offer this token on the side just for free to anybody, not just the ICO participants.
Yeah.
So I think that's a cool move. And it does look like it has some neat features. It's got this weird thing where it has market-pegged tokens. So you can trade within the client, you can trade your coins for Bitcoins. But what you're actually trading it for is a token that is supposed to be pegged to the price of Bitcoin.
But it's only available within that client?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
And the mechanism that price connection is supposed to be supported with is not at all clear. So it's like the developer in the thread is like, yeah, it's totally going to be worth a Bitcoin. It says it's pegged to Bitcoin. And it's like, well, people still have to buy it for a Bitcoin. So yeah, I always wonder about that kind of stuff. It would be really cool if he did have a mechanism to enforce the peg, but anytime I see that, I get skeptical.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as new coins lately, I think this one's probably worth checking out, and I wouldn't give him my real credentials for anything, obviously, but it might be worth signing up for.
Free coins.
Yep, get them free coins.
When's the next Decred?
We're all waiting for the next Decred. Let's see. That was the only airdrop this week. There were also a few re-announcements made. The first one is a coin called CypherFunks.
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting coin.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. It's an altcoin for a particular band.
Yeah, it's basically we're a band and this is our coin, and if you want to support us, buy the coin. So, all right, that's cool. I think that's a cool idea, cool mechanism. They've got a SoundCloud up, and you can check out their stuff if you would like to.
Not a bad way to go.
That was CypherFunks.
And then there was Eternity.
Aeternity. They wanted to call their token Aeon, which is already a coin that is associated with Monero, and people just like dogpiled them in this thread. But the post itself actually looks pretty good, honestly, as far as posts go. It's got all the stuff you'd expect. I don't see anywhere where they're asking for money, so that's nice.
Yeah, but the one sort of disappointing part is that the mainnet launch is scheduled for Q1 2018.
Yeah.
So it's like, see you then.
Yeah, it's already a year away. It's like, in the altcoin game, we have very short memories.
But if that's a testament to the amount of effort they're going to put into it, then that's great.
Yeah, if 9 months from now we're still hearing about Eternity, then I don't care if their name isn't original. I'm going to be interested in what they've been working on.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
So yeah, I think that's a thread that's probably worth looking at. There was also a re-announcement for MoonCoin, a really old ultra-high supply coin.
Yeah, this market does not look good.
The supply of MoonCoin is 390 billion.
Yeah.
I love it. Back then, when Bitcoin was like $1,000, everybody thought that it was too hard to deal with the small decimal places to understand the value of stuff. And like one of the main arguments for Doge back then was like, oh, people can understand the value better because it's larger numbers. And it's like,
Yeah.
They took it too far, because now you have shit that has 390 billion coins and could never even trade for one Satoshi,
Yeah, it's way, way down in the Litoshi markets.
Its main market is actually on Blue Trade against Doge.
Oh, interesting.
So that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's MoonCoin. I mean, it's a 2013 coin. It actually predates Dogecoin, so that's cool. And I think it's cool that it's still out there and people are still having fun with it, I guess.
Sure. And then there is Bria Coin.
Bria Coin.
This was a very difficult post to read.
Yeah, it's weird. So they say it's a pure proof of stake coin, but that it only has 1% pre-mine, which is not really possible. Kind of pure proof of stake by definition would have to have a 100% pre-mine, but so that's unusual. Otherwise, it kind of looks more like an MLM type thing than a coin, really.
Right. So,
we also had a few ICOs this week, as usual. We're just going to kind of read them off. They were Ascendancy, Sector, Respectonomy, Eryllium, Willow, and 24-karat coin.
all right.
So yeah, if you like IPOs, check those out, I guess.
Yeah.
And that will do it for our summary of the new coins this week. Anything on here you like, Woody?
Well, I like the idea of the airdrop. Sometimes those
Yep.
have worked out for me in the past. The proof of work coins, nothing super special there for me at the moment.
Yeah, I'm half tempted to mine Creative Coin just because the difficulty's so low and it's got a few blocks left, but it's just like, I know it's hardly going to be worth the effort of even dealing with the exchange for the amount of money that it'll sell for, probably.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, like all those proof of work coins, none of them are even trying to pretend remotely to be a serious project.
Yep, that is completely true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess that's where Extreme Chain probably gets the leg up this week then, in terms of actually looking like a project that might bring some new technology to the scene.
Yeah.
And, being a free distribution is great too, obviously.
I suppose Eternity falls into that category as well. But it's so far off
Yeah,
that it's
so
like...
I can't even, I can't plan for 2018.
Yeah.
That's too far.
All right.
Yeah, so that's it for the new coins this week.
What? Go ahead, Brando.
No, that's it.
Oh, well, I was just going to say you've made it to the Mineum Giveaway.
Hey-yo!
Sweet.
Yeah, we want to thank everybody for listening. So here is how the Mineum Giveaway is going to work. We got a Twitter account at Chain Dynamics.
That's right.
And what you're going to do is you're going to send a direct message to that Twitter account with the phrase, Satoshi Nakamoto ate a hot tomato, and your Mineum address.
And the first person to do that will get 500 Mineum.
Hey, that's not bad.
It's like $7 or $8, I think.
Yeah, huge thanks to the Mineum crew for
Pretty sweet prize.
giving us these coins to give away.
Yeah. And we are going to have another 500 to give away for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So
Yeah, we're going to be doing this every week, and you don't even necessarily probably have to listen live. It's just going to be whoever sends us the first DM.
yeah, but it might if live listeners are going to participate, then they'll probably be the first.
Yep,
Be
they
my
will
guess.
have an advantage. So I guess check and see if you listen to the archive show if it's been claimed yet. If it hasn't, send us that.
Maybe I should tweet when it gets claimed.
Yeah, definitely. What's that phrase again?
It's Satoshi Nakamoto ate a hot tomato.
That's right. Just DM the at Chain Dynamics Twitter account with Satoshi Nakamoto ate a hot tomato
Yep.
and your Mineum address, and the first person to do it gets 500 Mineum.
And like we said, that's sponsored by Mineum. They're a mining farm in Canada that has a
Yep.
blockchain that helps support them and also distributes dividends to people based on holdings.
Yeah, it's really cool. There've been a lot of, it kind of ties into this cloud mining thing that we've heard so much about, but this one's actually for real, which is really exciting. You can see their facility. They've recently moved into a new facility.
Yep.
And they're mining all kinds of different coins, and it's cool. It's a cool little project.
Yeah, they say that in the recent update, he said that they had 12 gigahashes on Dagger
Damn.
Hashimoto going right now.
Damn.
I don't think they're fully set up yet, though.
Yep.
And I was in the ICO, and so I'm not gonna sugarcoat the fact that as far as the distributions are concerned, it'll take a really long time to break even in that way at
Yep.
this point. So it's just a really cool group of people with a nice project, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a cool experiment in actually trying to use these kind of blockchain-based dividends in a real way and not have it be like so many others that are just kind of HYIP type stuff.
Yep. But when I get that extra couple dollars of Bitcoin every month or so, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's
So
not much.
once again, send that DM to @ChainDynamics.
Yep.
And the first person wins. Just one giveaway per week. So next we're going to jump into the coin listings.
Hey, somebody already won it.
Really? Oh, nice. It's done. All right. Congratulations to the person that won.
Yep, I'll send Mineum over to you.
Righteous. So let's see. Coin listings. We always like to start with Cryptopia. Don't forget to check out our thread in the Cryptopia forums. Drop us a line. We'll send you some dots. If you haven't visited Cryptopia in a while, I would recommend checking them out again. They've really become a lot more active. There's a lot more kind of fun trading going on. A lot of cool older coins that were left over from Cryptsy and stuff. You can still find them and have a lot of fun trading them on Cryptopia.
Yeah. They listed ChessCoin.
They did.
Then,
Nothing
of course,
on Polo.
we aren't going to be graced with two Poloniex listings weeks in a row. That'd be ridiculous.
No, we should be so lucky. Still can't believe they listed Nexium.
Well, just shows, yeah, I boggles my mind. And then Yobit listed LookCoin, JaneCoin, and InCoin.
And we also have LiveCoin listing a few coins this week. BitParkCoin, CryptoCarbon, and VSlice.
Interesting. They're always listing coins we don't know what they are.
Yeah, LiveCoin's really pushing hard with a lot of interesting kind of different coins.
Yeah.
And that's it for the listings this week. Really light week for listings, but
Yeah. Well, I think it just goes to show, I mean, light on the new coins, light on the listings. What are the exchanges list what people want to trade? And if half these coins are just, they have to pay Yobit to list them because that's the only way they're going to get traded, then we'll just see Yobit listing 3 coins a week and Cryptopia will list the voting winner and life will go on.
And that's that, yep. Alrighty. Next, we are going to do our coin birthdays.
Yeah, I always like coin birthdays, and they're getting kind of thick. I need to go back to try to find some, we need to start looking all the way back to 4 or 5 years at this point, and it's a little bit difficult. But on our 1-year anniversary, how about MindCoin?
MindCoin.
When we talk about Yobit, Yobit dumps.
What's this one? What's the story of MindCoin? I don't remember this
Let me
one.
pull up the coin market cap here.
MindCoin.
Yep.
Launched on December 30th, 2015.
Yeah. Well, happy 1-year birthday, I guess.
We also have a 2-year birthday this week for a coin called Unitas.
Another one we don't know about.
Another coin I really don't know much about, but it's still out there, and they have survived 2 years, so that's pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, always good to see. And the survival really is just determined by there being a block explorer, and that's about what I go off of at this point.
Unitas had a market cap in 2015, most of 2015 in the $1,000 range. It's now actually at an all-time high for it, close to at least, of $7,600.
Huh.
So ultra-small market cap coin there, traded on Yobit and Cryptopia.
Then in the 3-year birthday category, we have, first of all,
MonaCoin. I remember hearing a lot about this back in the day, and I haven't heard much about it since, but still a pretty high market cap coin.
Yeah, it is, considering it's traded all over the place, too.
Yeah, Bittrex,
including
LiveCoin.
its own exchange, MonaTore.
MonaCoin. What's the deal with MonaCoin, I wonder?
I don't know, man. I think it's...
The thread is very sparse. It just looks like a script coin. That's kind of the story with most of these 3-year-old coins, though. They just look like script coins, and they have huge market caps.
It's based on a character. I think probably that cat's name is Mona, is my bet.
Oh, nice.
Just that one that's on the coin. But I don't know it for sure.
Well, happy 3-year birthday to MonaCoin.
Also, 3 years ago, Ron Paul was kicking around. So it's the 3rd-year anniversary of Ron Paul coin.
Who could forget Ron Paul coin? This was I think this was a pretty expensive coin for a while.
Yeah, it was, because I think it has a pretty low supply, or low emission rate, at least, for the time period.
In January 2014, this thing was trading for 0.02 each per Ron Paul coin. Now it's down to about 330 Satoshi, so it's off about, what is that, 1/10,000th of its...
Right.
About 1/10,000th of its peak price. That's a pretty harsh drop.
Yeah. It's funny to see that one just sort of hanging on,
Yep.
Definitely from my perspective, a Cryptsy hangover.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. Just kind of leftover blockchain. Current market cap only 2 Bitcoins on Ron Paul coin.
Man, that's low though.
That is low.
It's almost to the point where we start thinking that it can't go any lower.
Yeah, we always joke, what's the lowest it can get? And unfortunately, it's still lower than 2 Bitcoins, but we'll see. You don't usually see coins this old with these small of market caps, but like MonaCoin, $1 million market cap.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Crazy. But still, Ron Paul coin, it's still out there, and just a resilient blockchain, as they all are.
It'll be so fun to see how this whole landscape looks just years from now.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how resilient these clones are on the 10-year time frame, Are most of the chains going to be just totally non-functional by then, or are they just still going to be ticking away? 2 coins per block or whatever, you know.
Right. Nothing really will stop them very easily is the thing. It's so low maintenance.
That's one of my favorite things about blockchain is the ability to create these like micro markets of all scales. It's just, you know, you have altcoins ranging in value from $20 to, you know, $100 million, $800 million. It's just incredible. And you literally will have coins that exist at every point in between.
Apparently.
And it's just cool. It's fun to watch.
That's very fun to watch. And it's going to just about do it for our show today.
Yep, that's it. As always, head on down, cryptopia.co.nz. Check them out. Check out our forums thread in the altcoin section.
Yep.
Leave us some feedback, and we'll hit you up with 2,500 dots.
Yeah, we love to get news or just suggestions of what to talk about or what to take a look at.
Yep.
There's so much out there.
Yeah, we can't keep up with it all, and we like to try, but we also really love it when people give suggestions.
Also remember to head over to blockchaindynamics.net and vote for the winners of the Wolong Awards.
Yep, we'll have that vote page up this week. And that's going to do it for Blockchain Dynamics number 44. My name is Brandon Doach.
And I'm Woody.
And don't forget, the theme song is by Grammatic.
We'll see you next week with heavier bags.
Currency.
Like a couple Bitcoins.
Money,
Pull up on my Nakamoto.